This game is 15 years old. Yes, 15. And it is gaining players now. It's getting more and more players on average today than it ever did. It is one of the most highest reviewed games on Steam. It is one of the most highly played games on Steam with an average of 20 to 40,000 players at all times. How? How is this possible? It's baffling to me. And if you are interested whether you should jump to this game and do the same thing and join this tens of thousands of players, yes, it's dirt cheap. And if you haven't done this before for the 15 years since this game exists, it's as good as time as ever. So yeah, you can get this. In this video, we're going to be talking about Left 4 Dead 2 and why it is worth buying or playing right now and how it's not dead. So what even is Left 4 Dead 2? It's a cooperative first-person shooter developed by Valve, legendary Valve, released in 2009. So wait, so it's not 15 years old, it's 16 years old now. That pits the players against the hordes of infected in a zombie apocalypse. So it's a run-of-the-mill zombie first-person shooter, except it's kind of game that started the genre. Well, of course, alongside its first part. So the game is actually built around a teamwork. Up to 4 players can join the forces in both online and local co-op. Left 4 Dead 2 features a series of campaigns set in a diverse environments from swamps to urban places, each of which with its own atmosphere and challenges. Now, to explain what you're doing in this game, it's rather simple. Now imagine games like CS or Half-Life or any other old school first-person shooter. You start a game, you choose one of the few different campaigns, and by the way, right now Left 4 Dead 2 also features the campaigns from the first game, and campaigns are basically your different story narratives, taking you into different spots at different places, giving you multiple different missions. You start in a safe house, being joined by 3 other players or bots, and you are given a task to get to the next safe house. It's extremely simple, right? You have a set of melee weapons and guns, and you are told to move forward. And you do this by moving through the hordes of zombies and special infected. And every time you do this, every time you play the game, it will be different. Environments will be slightly different, zombie locations will be different, zombies that you will meet will be different, and the weapons and pickups and everything that you will see in the world will be in different spots as well, and maybe different as well. And this is all thanks to AI Director, the main marketing gimmick of the game, except it has a catch, and we're going to talk about this in a second. So players can choose from a roster of survivors, each with their own personalities and voice lines, which add the game's cinematic feel. And the campaigns themselves are made to be like mini movies. You don't have a lot of cinematics and things like that, but basically these campaigns explain shortly within the game itself how each one of your characters got there, who are there, and what they are doing together and what they will do afterwards. And there are quite a lot of interesting stories if you're gonna listen to it. Let's talk about the game director or AI director. This was supposed to be an AI that adapts based on you and your friend's playstyle. And depending whether the game was actually easy for you or difficult for you, it will give you a different set of challenges, like changing the paths where you can progress through the level, or giving you specific weapons, or taking away those specific weapons, or throwing this hordes of zombies at you when it feels like way too easy for you, or maybe special infected and things like that. That's what everyone thought for years and maybe a decade. Except it turned out that AI Director is simply an RNG. Yes, many reviews will still be talking about AI Director as an AI thing, except it's actually not an AI, it's literally an RNG, a random number generator that will simply act differently every time you'll play. Yes, it has their own balancing things, allowing you to not be completely imbalanced and drop like billion zombies at you right from a get-go, but it's not actually an AI. It's simple random number generator, it's simple script that changes the environment and gameplay every time you play. Doesn't make it any worse that it's not an AI? No, it's actually quite great without that, and quite impressive without that as well. But still, it's not an AI. But okay, we got the campaigns, which is fun, which will be a lot of gameplay, and which will create these situations and tensions unlike no other game. Because this game is not easy. It's actually quite difficult, and you can actually choose different difficulty levels, and on higher difficulties, it's basically a nightmare. And if you will not be very tactical with your friends, you're going to be losing a lot. You need to protect your friends, you need to help them, you need to heal them, and the friends need to be doing the same thing for you as well. But it's not not very easy when there are a lot of zombies running, and especially the special infected. Now, special infected is a completely different thing. Those are the special zombies that will appear from time to time from out of seemingly nowhere. These are the zombies that spit bloat on you, that attract other zombies, that will spit acidic vomit on you, or jump on you from completely unpredictable places, or hook you in and drag you away from your friends, or just simply, well, crush you like Tank does. And each of them are quite unique and require a different approach. And you will actually learn how to play against them rather quickly, with an exception maybe of a Tank and the Witch. And speaking of special infected, most people don't even know that they can actually play for those infected. What? Well, you see, there is actually separate game mode, a versus game mode, which is quite similar to campaign, but it's not as cinematic or linear. You're basically playing on separate levels, and group of survivors will play against group of infected. Now, survivors are doing the same thing that they're doing in their campaigns. They need to progress and do their stuff, while infected can actually choose different types of infected to play with, and they need to stop survivors from doing so. Now, the difference between survivors and infected is that infected have an ability to climb walls and access spaces that are unavailable for the survivors, and they can actually also see in the dark as well. So they can actually unexpectedly jump on the players, drag them away, and beat them up while other players are busy with other zombies. And this is incredibly fun experience that unfortunately not a lot of players are engaging into. But for 16 years now, this thing should have become boring, right? Except it hasn't, because the game's very low barrier of entry, both price-wise and requirement-wise, and we're gonna talk about pricing in a second, because of its diverse gameplay, because campaigns are different every single time you play them, because of AI director or AI script, whatever you want to call it, because this game is unbelievably fun with friends and with randoms as well. Game has been alive for this long, and on average it has rising player numbers. But even that's not all, because game supports mods, and because this game is so old, this is one of the most modded games ever. We're talking about thousands of mods, introducing different survivors, changing the current survivors with different skins and different abilities, adding different animations, different abilities, adding different weapons, and even entire campaigns. Yes, you have dozens and hundreds of different campaigns that you can play with, basically making this game infinitely replayable. But remember when I talked about the price? This is also the important part of this game's longevity, because the game's full price, and yeah, no one is buying this game for the full price, is $9.99. It's $10, but it's very often is on a sale, and you can get it for as low as just $1. This is one of the cheapest, the biggest games you can get on Steam and enjoy right from the get-go and with friends. It's easy to run on older PCs and ancient PCs, which are incredibly cheap to get. It is very easy to play and understand because the learning curve is very shallow. It's literally nothing to learn there. The only thing that you need to learn is just stick with the group and shoot anything that moves, and try to not shoot your friends. It's incredibly easy to mod because of the workshop, and all this for the price of 99 cents. Of course it's immortal. Of course it will not die anytime soon. And if you have missed it, and if you haven't played it yet, what are you waiting for? Just go and grab it and have fun with friends. And if you like zombie games, first-person zombie games, you might enjoy my review of Dying Light 2. You can watch it right here. Or if you prefer something more complex and something bigger and better, you can watch my review of Project Zomboid right here as well. Don't forget to subscribe right here as well. This is me for today, and I'm going to see you in the next one. Take care.